give people a few more minutes just because we're going to just give grace. So it's 7:02 right now. So we're just going to give a couple of more minutes to wait. But I'm excited that so many of you have joined us today. So as you probably can look, you see some of the 4-H staff. And then if you know each other, you see some leaders and some different people. So thank y'all for joining us. We're just going to give it a couple of more minutes just to give some people some time to get on. If you're just joining us, hi, welcome. We're going to give people about 1 or 2 more minutes to just get on. We're excited that all of you have joined us. We miss you. So yeah, we're going to get started in a little bit. But as you are waiting for us to get a little bit started, we're probably going to give it 1 more minute. Just get used to some of the aesthetics of Zoom. There's a chat box. If you have any questions, we'll talk about this a little bit later. As we go out throughout this 4-H town hall, you can send them to Anthony. You have to choose one of us to send them to, so you can send them to Anthony if you have any questions beyond the ones that we received, just so you know. And so we probably can get started. I'm going to pull up our presentation. Megan will be starting us off and doing the bulk of just explaining. So if you guys haven't seen Megan in a while, then this is your chance to see her and some of us as well. So just give us 1 second. All right, everyone. Hi, welcome. As people come in, you'll hear the chimes, but I'm just making sure that everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, you can send the thumbs up. Feature is somewhere. You can hear, if you can hear me, is your app loaded? Can you see the chat message box? If you can't, try to let us know or wave your hand or something like that. We have all of our 4-H staff on, so if you have any issues or ailments or anything, to send a message and someone will be able to monitor that. So send that to Anthony if you have any. I see 1 thumbs up that people can hear me. So I'm going to assume that everyone can. If something happens where your sound goes out, you just can't, understand what's going on, just get off and just come back. The same link will get you right back to where we are. And so I hope you can all see us. All 4-H staff should be able to be seen unless something's going on with their webcam or something. So I'm Jamita. Hi, welcome. This is our first I'm going to say it's our first town hall. And we just know that there's been a lot going on with what's going on in the world. Of course, there's nothing to take lightly, but also we pray that you guys are staying safe and that we really do miss seeing your faces and having events and different things like that. So we're going to be talking about that today. So everyone's already muted ahead of time, but if someone having problems with that, we do have one of our 4-H staff to monitor that as well. And we're gonna hand it over to Shannon. I'm Jamita, and then we have some of our 4-H staff that they can unmute and introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, I'm going to go over our agenda today. So tonight we want to check in with you guys, give you an update on 4-H and GKW, which is Grundy, Kankakee, and Will. That is Unit 9. The world around us isn't normal. This is kind of becoming our new normal. So we want to answer some of the questions that you might have. And also with the governor's extension of 30 more days, it's going to be a little bit of a whirlwind here. So obviously we just heard about that news as recently as you did. So the agenda for tonight, we're going to go through introductions and a welcome. We are going to do an opening poll or an icebreaker. We're going to answer questions, and then we're going to do some county updates, and then we're going to give you some of the upcoming events.
Thank you. Who do we have out there? Other 4-H staff, go ahead and say what's up to all our people.
So this is Megan, the county director.
Hey guys, this is Anthony. I'm the 4-H program coordinator in Will County.
Deborah, are you there?
Well, there we go. Hi, good evening. Deborah Cook from Kankakee County. I was trying to unmute myself and it wasn't allowing me to do that. So whoever did that for me, thank you.
Brooke is here too. We're just trying to get her unmuted. She's running into the same problem. So we'll find her and get her unmuted as well. And I apologize if you hear my dog or my children. They just want to be involved as well. So.
For those of you who,
I'm here.
oh, there she is. I was like, okay, go ahead.
Sorry, my dog is gonna bark too because I got excited. This is Brooke over in Grundy. My camera is not working and I just got in from the barn, so I didn't have a time to figure out why it's not working. So if I can get it to come up in the middle of all this, I will.
All right, we're gonna pass it over to our wonderful county director, Megan. For those of you who do not know, she has been, she's new to this position, hasn't been in it very long, but she has done a tremendous job since I just got there in July, from what I can tell, and she's been taking every moment with grace. So let's welcome Megan.
Thank you, Jamita. We're going to have a quick poll. We just thought it would be fun to try some of the different features in Zoom, as well as get to see how everybody was doing tonight. So our first one I'm going to launch. And so for those of you out there, you should have something pop up on your screen. And we just want to know how everyone's doing. So if you can take a couple seconds, vote. And have a few, 5, 7, 11. All right, about half of you, little over half. Almost there. Couple more. All right. So I'm going to shut the poll down in 3, 2, 1. And it looks like, should be able to see, most of us are ready to get out of the house. I definitely agree with you on that. A few people that are just going back and forth, a few that are doing amazing. Some just want to get out, and some miss our alone time. I miss my alone time a little bit too. I was thinking that myself. So thank you guys. I think have one more, if it works for me, that we wanted to ask. And that's just, once we get back to normal, what do you plan to do first? I know for me, it's probably visit family and friends or go to my favorite restaurant. I'm not sure yet.
It's not fair. We can't vote, Megan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
As you can tell, we are still learning some of this fun technology, so we are still slowly figuring out how to do these things.
Mine would be visit family and friends for sure.
All right, so we'll end in 3, 2, 1. All right, so most people visit family and friends. I agree. Go on vacation, go to your favorite restaurant, play some sports, get your hair done. I've been hearing about that a lot lately, so I don't blame you, and I'm sure that there will be lots doing that. So thank you guys. Just gives us a gauge of how everybody's doing. Oh, I didn't share the results. I'm sorry. Just gives us a gauge. Just thought we'd break the ice, give everybody a chance to see some of the cool features in Zoom and check some things out. So now we're going to go on and pass it over and start answering some of the questions you guys sent in. So we didn't get a ton sent in, but thank you for those who did. If you have questions as we're talking tonight, so one of the features we're trying to do, we know there's a lot of people on here, so we're going to try and keep everybody muted. So if you have a question, you can either send it to Anthony Warmack in the chat box, or you can actually email Anthony. So hopefully everybody is aware of his contact information. So if you're calling in on the phone, and you can try and email, or you can send a chat to Anthony. And then once we get through these questions, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other questions you guys might have. So first, I just want to thank you all for joining us. We as staff have been meeting regularly throughout different platforms, and we've mentioned many times how much we miss all of you guys. Please know that we appreciate you all and we miss all of you. I know it's volunteer week, so for those of you on here that are our club leaders, our food stand people, superintendents, all of those things, thank you so much for volunteering. We appreciate you all of the time, but we appreciate you especially during this time of business. As we move forward, our discussions are going to center around how we continue to offer quality programming to youth and families in Grundy, Kankakee, and Will counties. We know that right now things are very uncertain, and that can cause a lot of anxiety for people. But please know that we care about you all and we're trying to act in your best interest. We learned today about the extension of the governor's stay-at-home order through May 30th. While we talk tonight, please know that we have not received any updates from the university since that was extended today. So we're going to answer your questions based on information we have received up until this point. We'll share any other updates that come out now as soon as they become available. So please know that what we say tonight could slightly be altered as we move forward. So one of the first questions we got from people through our Google form was, how can we return or drop off materials or paperwork to the office? So as many of you know, currently our offices are not open to the public and all extension staff are working off-site. We apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause, but the university is holding the health of our staff and the public in very high regard. At this time, the university has asked us to stay at home in accordance with the governor's policy. If you have supplies that need to return to the office, please hold on to them for now until we get back to the office. Once we determine the timeline for returning, we'll let you know, and then we'll begin making an arrangement on how to drop those things off. Please do not drop things off at the office or leave them outside the building. As I said, staff aren't going into the office, so they could be left outside for a while. And depending on what that is, it could be very detrimental to them. We also know that this time of year, there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be dropped off and sometimes signed. If you need signatures or you need to give us paperwork, the best way right now to do that is through email. So please contact staff to determine the best way to do that. We have some different programs, Adobe Sign, and some different things where we can still do that part of paperwork that needs to be done. So please just contact the staff, send us an email, and we can get you those signatures filled. We also do have somebody going in once a week to get physical mail, but know that if you're mailing something, like I said, it's only once a week, and then it may be a delay to get it to the staff person you're trying to get it to. So email really is the best way to communicate with us right now. The next question we had, if the current health situation continues to impact the summer season, would you consider all enrolled members an opportunity to make up this year of 4-H by extending their 4-H eligibility by 1 year? This would mean a year extension for each 4-H'er over the next 10 years. At this time, that's not something that's been discussed. Age limits for 4-H participation are state and national policies, and locally we don't have a lot of control over those. At this point, I don't foresee this being a possibility, especially not over the length of a 10-year time frame. However, if you do have questions or suggestions like this, or anything related to the issues arising from COVID-19, we suggest you contact the state 4-H office. Their email address is illinois4h@illinois.edu, and I will try and type that into the chat box so everyone can see it. And in the coming days, so if you have questions, concerns, big policy type things, the best people to contact are the state office. They are asking for input from local individuals, local staff, and they're actually going to be sending a survey out in a couple of, maybe in a week, to everyone asking for input. But if you have other ideas specifically, please send it to that email and they will try and answer them for you. Our third question that got sent in is, I know that Extension is being proactive and looking at alternative ideas should our summer shows get canceled. Can you elaborate on what that might look like? So there have been a lot of discussions surrounding summer exhibit opportunities. During times like these, it's a reminder of how awesome you all are, and your passion for 4-H is amazing. And I am so proud to be a part of this organization, and I truly mean that. We're committed to providing the youth a summer learning exhibit opportunity. I know that it's frustrating and hard, but at this time we don't know exactly what that will look like. We want as much as all of you to provide the exhibit opportunities in the same way we have in the past. But with the situation being somewhat unknown, we're exploring a variety of methods for how we can give youth the opportunity to show they have mastered project learning over the past year. While there have been some negatives coming out with this situation, one of the positives, and I hope you're seeing it too, is the opportunity to learn about a variety of online tools for meeting and learning. We as staff have been using Zoom, we've been using Skype, Google Classrooms, CovertKit, Asana, and many other things that I did not even know existed a month ago. By learning more about these tools, we have the opportunity to figure out the best way to provide an alternate exhibit tool. We're also, in our unit, very lucky because all of our shows are scheduled relatively late in the summer. We're going to have some time to see how things work, as well as learn from other counties across the state. There are counties that start even that first weekend of June, so they're going to have some time to try some things out, and we can get some feedback to even improve our experiences. But we do want to say, ultimately, decisions are heavily dependent on campus leadership and guidance they receive from the CDC, the governor's office, Illinois Department of Public Health, and other experts. But please rest assured that staff locally and at the state level do not want to see 4-H summer go away. And we'll be working with the state office to offer some version of an exhibit opportunity for our youth later in the year. So question number 4. Many members are concerned about animal shows and their ability to show. Would online shows be an option? And could you speak on what we can tell people who are concerned about this and who have invested a significant sum of money and time? We are investigating a lot of alternate options for shows, including livestock. We know that there are specific concerns related to livestock shows, and we are in a lot of discussion regarding this. I used to show livestock myself, and I know there is no way to replace the judge coming up to you and choosing your animal as the grand champion, or the time you spend hanging out in the barn with your friends during the fair. Those were some of my best times of my summer, and I know that those are things that we can't replace. But I also know that livestock projects are much more than the fair. It's about caring for an animal, even when you're tired, sick, or you want to go hang out with your friends instead. It's about learning about all the effort and hard work that goes into raising livestock and gaining an appreciation for that industry. It's about the hours spent with parents, siblings, and friends. My sister just wrote a really nice piece that she sent to us about the hours we spent walking sheep up and down a gravel road, and just the memories we have as a family with that. So yes, this year might be different, but that doesn't take away the memories from the past, the hope for the future, and the skills that the youth have developed. The agriculture community is very powerful, and the loyalty, friendship, and connections are bigger than one show or bigger than one summer. We know changing the livestock show will not be the same, but we also know it can be a big deal if we do it right. So please stick with us. We're working on it, and we want to offer a great opportunity for all general projects and livestock exhibit opportunities. So the last question we received is, what can we do as 4-H families to make sure the kids still have the time of their life? This is a really great question, and one that we hope you can help us with. Right now, there are so many unknowns for youth, for families, and even for us. We are constantly coming up with ideas for experiences that we think could be great, but they always end with the phrase, but that will work if we're allowed to. So right now, even like we said, today's announcement of extending the stay-at-home order, we don't know what the summer is going to be like and what recommendations are going to be in place to keep our youth and volunteers safe. We hope that we can still create experiences that will make sure the youth have a great summer, but we also need your support in that. What are some ways we can create those opportunities and that are new and different? What are, if nothing else, right now, we have the opportunity to be creative and try new things. That for me is one of the most exciting things about this. There is no reason we should be worried about failing and something not working, because the only failure right now is if we do nothing. So if you have a crazy idea that we've never tried before because we're worried it would fail, now's the time that we can talk about it. So please share those ideas with any of the 4-H staff, and we can see if they're feasible, see if they're possible. We can't promise that things will be, but we can try new things right now and at least talk through them. We all realize that things are not going to be exactly the same this summer. The experience youth have had in the past will not be the same, but that is okay. Part of this experience is what we make of it. And if we can stay positive, try new things, and appreciate what we're all going through, something that we're all going through this together, and it's something we've never experienced before, we will have the time of our lives and have stories to tell for generations. So we have ideas, but we also want some of your ideas in that area. So if you have some, please send them to us. I had one message come into the chat to me, and it was addressing the robotics competition specifically. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the program, we have robotics competitions, and they typically happen in April. And we will say we are working on an alternate there. One of the things we had been waiting on there was schools. A lot of the participants in that our schools. So we were trying to determine what their calendar was going to look like. Now that we know they're not going back for the rest of the year, we're going to determine the best way for kids that can still participate in those robotics competitions to do so in a different manner. So as I said, if you have other questions, and type them into the box and send, or chat box, and send them to Anthony. I will see if Anthony says he has anything else, or if any of the other 4-H staff got any questions. Anthony. I can't hear you. You're unmuted, but for some
There we
reason I
go.
can't hear you. There you are.
There we go. I clicked the wrong button. Like we all said, well, this is a learning experience. We're getting there.
Exactly.
So the first question is going back to the livestock question, a little bit more specific. Let's see. Many 4-H members are concerned that animals are expensive to raise. Are there options for shows if we do not meet in person? And then another one came in about, should members continue to, if members haven't purchased livestock yet, should they continue to purchase livestock?
So we'll go with the first one there. If there's not a show in person, is there still going to be an opportunity? As I said, there are a lot of different alternates to shows, even livestock shows. Through some of our discussions, there's been some big shows this spring that have done alternate outside or virtual judging experiences. So we are still committed to try and find a platform to do that in. Again, it is not going to be exactly the same, and we understand that, but we are still going to provide some sort of exhibit opportunity for that. Is it worth, how was the wording of that about purchasing them?
Let's see. If we have not purchased livestock yet, should we continue to purchase them at this point?
I can't give you a yes or no answer on that. That is something that you as a family have to make a decision on. I can say things are going to possibly look different. So if the reason you've purchased livestock is to have the judge come and slap the calf on the behind and say you're the grand champion, I can't promise that experience is going to be there this year. But I can promise that your child is still going to learn something from that livestock project. They're going to gain life skills. They're going to gain memories. So if that's something you're interested in, if that's your motivation, then yes, I would still encourage you to do that so that you can have those experiences as a family. I think it becomes kind of a personal decision of, the reason for the livestock purchase and what the motivation is. There was a really great Facebook post going around a couple weeks ago that had a lot of following, and I would suggest taking a look at that and just thinking about, what does that animal mean to you and your family, and what can we learn from it?
All right, awesome. And then the next question, and this might be a question for Jamita. Could the robotics competition be moved to the fall? The kids have already have the challenge info, and then another one came in. Many kids have already put a lot of time and effort into the robotics competition. Is an alternate robotics competition possible?
Sorry, I was trying to, it's hard sharing the screen with the presentation and trying to unmute myself because it wouldn't let me see the mouse. That would be a great idea. The only thing, like Megan said, is a lot of teams are from the schools as well. So a lot of the teams that may have already been in position this year or this semester, a lot of those kids may have matriculated to another school, whether it be middle school or to high school. So definitely going to give it some thought. We have some clubs that do robotics, and it may be possible that we do a smaller version with the kids in robotics, and maybe just because the kids are not in school any longer, start fresh. But we're also waiting for the state robotics, the STEM team, to give us some different updates too. So there may be an opportunity there as well. So just stay posted, really trying to figure that out. We had about 40 or so teams per competition day, and so it definitely was a big loss. I ordered the trophies already, all that stuff, and so definitely would hate to rob the kids of that experience because they worked hard since the beginning of the school year, majority of the kids. So going to be thinking about some alternative ways with a smaller group, and then possibly, like someone suggested, even trying to do something for the fall as well with some of those groups that haven't changed much.
Awesome. Another question. Our club has not paid yet. Should we still do this, and how do we do it?
So yes, if your club has not paid yet, you can still do that. You should send that check. You can send it in the mail to the office that you are connected with. If you need that mailing address, you can ask one of us and we can send it to you. As I said, staff are still going and getting the mail on a regular basis, so we will get it. So yes, you can still do that, and you still should do that, because those are some of the things we will need in order to offer the youth the exhibit opportunity.
If video judging happens, what about people who board livestock and the places that they board at are closed?
That is a question that you will have to work with the people boarding on. As I said, we don't know exactly. At this point, as we talk through things, we're still planning on, if we can hold exhibit opportunities, probably holding them in a similar time frame as they are currently scheduled. If anything, we would maybe postpone them to later. So I would say that becomes something you'll have to talk with the boarding people about, because I'm not sure. I get, or you can talk to us more specifically about what specifically you're concerned about there.
Awesome. If a member is missing a passport to the World book, and then another question came in about any project book, can we make a copy of last year's book, or would we run into copyright issues?
Technically, yes, you would run into copyright issues there. The one thing you can do is reach out to staff, and we can see if we can figure something out and possibly mail some out. The other option is, and I will put it in the chat, is shop4h.org. This is the 4-H mall. You can buy most curriculum items here. There is a little bit of a higher price because they do have a little bit of markup that they don't give us at a state level. So they may cost a couple dollars more, but you can still access or order all of the curriculum there at that website. So you could reach out to us. We can try and see if we can get something. But if you go to 4-H Mall, they'll send it directly to your house and there won't be any delay on it. So that's another great option as well. And I sent that just to Deborah, so let me send it to everybody.
And a couple questions came in on horse paperwork all at the same time. Great minds think alike, I guess, because you guys all had the same question at the same time. Horse paperwork and pictures are due on May 1st. How should members get those in, and is emailed pictures appropriate?
Yeah, at this time, email pictures I would say are appropriate. And Brooke is kind of, I'm going to say she's our horse expert, so she could speak maybe a little more to this. But if you can get some good digital photos and send them to us through email, I think that would be appropriate. Those that need to be signed, we can sign digitally through a PDF form and send them back to you. But I feel like a good digital photo, and most of us have cameras or you know, your tablets that can take some pictures, so I feel like those would be okay. Deborah says in Kankakee they accept digital pictures, so yeah, I don't see why that would be a problem. Brooke, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I've already gotten some that have sent them to me just on email, which is fine. I told everybody, I think that's what I sent to Grundy, was just go ahead and send them to me with the copy of their ownership or their lease papers. So digital pictures is fine. If you are only showing at the state fair, it's fine. I don't need a copy of those this year. you can just go ahead and send those straight with your state fair entries when you do that. We'll still have to obviously sign off on the entry form, which is like Megan said, you can send it to us, we can sign it and get it back to you. But if you are showing at the county 4-H fair, you'll have to still send your photos.
And then kind of going along the same line, does the picture thing also work for dogs?
To replace.
You have to send ownership and lease papers for dogs.
Okay. Yeah, that should work too for the dogs as well. Just follow the same procedure. I also had somebody ask about dog obedience. So yes, we are also going to try and offer an alternate for dog obedience. Again, might look different, but yes, we are going to offer something for dog obedience. So please fill out those paperwork and those pictures in the same way we're asking the horse paperwork for.
All right. Another question, how can a leader find out which members have done the YQCA? I believe the EPCs in each county are able to do that. So feel free to email whatever 4-H staff in your county and we can go ahead and look at that for you. Another one, is there a timeline of when decisions will be made for our county and state, i.e. will we have an absolute decision by June 1 if shows will be live or another way?
The last we have heard, and this is complete honesty, we do not have a this is the end date. They have not given us anything like that. They are still just taking into account all of the questions that are coming in, or all of the information coming in from the governor's office, IDPH, all of those groups. Some of it's also coming in from county fairs and Illinois Department of Ag and some of their kind of counterparts. So we don't have a specific date. We do know that there are fairs that start in early June. And we know that fairs have a lot that go behind them. So while I know that to a lot of people, decisions might feel early, but when we think of all the things that have to go into it, they're not as early as it may seem. But we don't have a specific date that we will know. And I do apologize for that because I know that it causes anxiety, but I also know that if we made a decision early, it might be one we look back on and aren't happy with, because we're probably going to err on the side of caution. So just know that we're trying to wait as long as possible so that we can make sure that the experience is one that we can make as memorable as possible for everyone.
All right, there's quite a few questions on how to find resources like club awards and that kind of thing. And I know at least for Will County, I think each county is a little bit different. For Will County, we'll be adding those to the website as soon as we have them. So we'll get like the record books up there and everything like that. Deborah and Brooke, what does Grundy and Kankakee look like?
So I think we'll probably do the same thing this year. As soon as we have, obviously we have to wait for the state to send us the new form. We can put up what was up there last year with the knowledge that they could make a slight change. But we can put them online too for people to get, that way they have access to them. Anthony, what do you think about putting them on the 4-H online page like we've done with some of the other stuff in Grundy?
Yeah, definitely.
You can, as soon as you log in, there's a spot where you can access a lot of documents that way. So if you don't want to go online and have to find them, we could put them there too.
Same with Kankakee as well.
And I will say this, the record book for Will County is on there as an ebook as well as a fillable PDF already, but some of the other stuff we'll have to add.
All right, and then the last question for right now, and after we get past this question, I know we'll continue, but if anyone has any questions, like as we get through the rest of this town hall, feel free to send them to me in the chat. I am Anthony Carlo Warmack in the chat. Otherwise, you can email me, and my email is warmacka, W-A-R-M-A-C-K-A, @illinois.edu. If you guys are on like a phone and you can't type in the chat box, that'd be fine. But the last question that I have so far is, I'm a 4-H leader and I'd like to reach out personally to my youth. Is there a way that we can get a contact list?
So if you are a 4-H leader, you should be able to access that information through 4-H online. And I would say any of the EPCs or educators can help walk you through that. But when you log in, you should be able to log in as a leader and then put in a password for your club. And then it should bring up everyone in your club with their contact information. So yeah, that's something you can do. And if you don't see that in 4-H online, like I said, contact one of the 4-H staff and they'll be able to walk you through how to do that.
I want to add also, we have the capability as 4-H staff, if you want to plan any type of Zoom things or interactions, we can help schedule those, and then you're able to have host capabilities where you can talk to your kids just like we're talking to you, and they can talk and interact with each other as well.
I had a couple of comments come in. One is just talking about some of the county fair boards. That's something that we are also watching closely, and some of you may have seen some county fairs have started to cancel for a variety of reasons, some financial, some other things, but it sounds like a lot of the county fairs are also waiting on a decision from the Illinois Department of Ag, so that's something that also impacts our decision. The other question I had come in was specifically about how online workshops and online projects are counted in the record books. I know we were just talking about this today, and we are in contact with the state to determine how to get those in there. So as soon as we get more information on how things should be counted in record books, we'll get that information to everyone as well.
Okay, and we had a couple more come in. Let's see. I already emailed this, but wanted to make sure it's answered. Is an online workshop considered a national, state, multi-county, or county? And I know, Jamita, that's something that we're all working on. We're trying to get in contact with Katie Dutzman, who's the state award specialist for the whole state. And we're trying to put together a resource, and then we can send that out, have her approve it, and that way we'll get more permanent answers on that, because we want to make sure that we don't give you false information and then you put it on the award applications and then it comes back to bite us at the end of the year.
I'll just say this: if you're attending anything virtually, document the date, be very specific as to which extension office it was, all that. And then you can even, we'll talk about this later, if you got the resource from the Google Classroom, be very specific with that. So when we are able to speak to Katie, that all the wording is all the same. We want to make sure that it's very concise, because we ran into some problems where each county has different events, and Katie was confused on the state level what this event meant. What is it? So be very specific when you're documenting those things if you did attend, and then we'll, like Anthony said, let you know how Katie responds.
All right, and that's all the questions I have now. So while we continue on with the presentation, feel free to continue to send questions.
So this is, we're going to hand it over to our EPCs, giving you any county updates, any dates that you all have coming up, anything that's going on specifically to each county, because right now we're operating as 4-H together. So this is an opportunity for them to give you some more information about each specific county. Deborah, I see you smiling. Go ahead.
I'm having trouble with the mute, so thank you for letting me speak. Well, I wanted to welcome all the Kankakee people that are with us tonight. And one of the important things that's happening on May 6th is that we have a leaders meeting planned, and that's going to become a Zoom meeting, and I will be sending that information out to you soon. I will also be sending out documents that go along with that leader meeting, so you will have the documents before the actual meeting that we will do on the 6th, so that you can have them and look at the documents, and then you can ask questions. So I'm looking forward to getting that information out to you. You can join the Zoom meeting, and then the leaders will then send the information that I share. They will send that to all of their club members, and then the registration can begin to register for the fair or for the judging opportunities that we have.
My turn.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm over here in Grundy County. The only thing that we've really got right now, I guess we have a couple different things. If everyone will keep a lookout in their email, Megan Ward is getting ready to do our newsletter that goes out in May. So hopefully the first week of May, she'll have that completed. It'll just have some of the updates, like the dog photo and paperwork will be in there. If we have what we're going to do for the dog obedience classes, if we have some kind of alternative to that solved by then, that'll be in there. And then any other dates that we have that we know we're planning on doing. Obviously, a lot of that is kind of up in the air, and we're all waiting to hear from higher powers what we can and can't do. But the dates will be in there for that. So we will have for sure public speaking. Will County and Grundy County are going to do their contest together in Grundy if we can do it in person. Otherwise, we'll let you know how we're going to do that. But it'll be July 13th at 6 o'clock in the evening, back to about the same time that we used to do it previous to them moving the contest up. So for Grundy kids, you're back to the old schedule for that. And then during that day will be our cake decorating contest. Again, hopefully we can do that in person at the office. It should be in the morning, provided our judge is still good with that time. Otherwise, it would be early afternoon, but we'll have that time as soon as she gives us a for sure time and able to do that. So other than that, there'll be leaders information going out again at the beginning of May for Grundy leaders also. And then I just talked to Anthony via text message. We did come up with a like login kind of a helpful hints or how to do it sheet that he made up, like some of his other ones that he's used for 4-H online, and we can email that out to all of our leaders. And if Kankakee wants it too, we can send it to Deborah so she can send it too, in case anyone has questions or forgets how to do that. And then you should be able to get all of your reports and things. That's it for us.
Awesome. And I wanted to give you guys an update for some of the online programming that we're doing as well. I just posted in the chat. We have a daily dose of cuteness, which is our day-old chicks. I'm going to be posting some videos, photos, and educational tidbits every day on Facebook and also on a blog if you don't have social media. In addition to that, we're doing a geocaching workshop and live event once the social distancing is lifted. Also a photography workshop. And this will be a great opportunity to learn tons of different things using a cell camera. And if we end up doing any sort of projects online, I highly recommend the photography workshop because it's also going to teach the kids how to photograph their projects. So that might be something you want to check out. So definitely take a look at the links in the chat. You can always email me afterwards. It's slrange@illinois.edu. Or you can type in Shannon Range in Facebook, and it'll take you to my Facebook page.
And for Will, kind of the same thing as the other two counties. We will get leaders information out probably by the beginning to middle of May, just depending on how quick we get some things done from the state and different things like that. We have a lot of great resources. So our Google Classroom is available for all three counties. And I believe we're going to touch on that a little bit later, as well as some other resources that we've been working on. Really, if in Will County or anyone really, if you guys need a resource that we haven't put out yet, feel free to get in contact with us and we can put you in contact with some great resources. And or if we have enough requests, we can also develop some resources. And then I will also be working on more in-depth Zoom webinars and Zoom trainings, as well as some different webinars like that leaders have been asking me for. So we'll get those out for Will County leaders in the next couple days. And then I think that's it for Will County. Brooke had mentioned that we're going to do the public speaking contest with Grundy. I think that'll be the best use of our time and also make sure that we can all observe different speeches as well. And that's all I got for Will.
And so we are going to go to some of our things that you should stay on the lookout for. We are on Facebook as well as now 4-H is on Instagram. We literally made it like almost a week ago. This is the first time we've set it out publicly, and I'm actually excited because we have like 50 something followers after a week. So please take your phones out right now. If you could either follow for Instagram, excuse me, and it's like for our Facebook, and that's just to keep connected. We release a lot of different things. Shannon's chicks are there. She actually posted the live video. There's a lot of different things on our Facebook. It's all of our entire, what we call a unit. So it's SnapEd, some different recipes, some different resources. It's Nancy with the Master Gardeners and Master Naturalists. It's James. So it's all 3 counties on our Facebook. So take out your phones, like our page, follow us there. There's Shannon with the chicks. And then on our Instagram, follow us. If you don't have Instagram, don't create one to go follow us. If you don't believe in social media, that's fine. But this is just creating another platform and avenue for us to reach out to people. And we're excited because when we do have events and when we do have fairs and things like that, or when we are able to be in each other's faces again, we can have videos, we can have different things up there for our Instagram. And so we just wanted to increase our reach in this time where we're separated from each other. So please follow our Instagram. I'm very proud because we've been saying it since I think we came in July, like, Megan, can we get an Instagram? Can we get an Instagram? So it's now here. So go ahead and follow us. Quick right here. So for, like we mentioned, our Google Classroom, I try to every single week I go around the country. I go to Alaska, Hawaii, Minnesota, Nebraska, really trying to find some quality experiences for our kids, because I know that we can do different things, but if someone is out there who is already doing a different type of workshop, then that's what I'm trying to find for you all to put it in there. And so everyone's able to go to it. I've been excited about some of the emails I've been getting and some of the like someone was trying to get into the cake decorating workshop that was in Indiana. And so it's really giving kids an option to see other 4-H kids around the nation. And I've actually stepped into a few of them and they've been really good so far. So there's some digital escape rooms that are in there. There's some just some additional resources. If you want to do some activities with your kids, there are also some videos, some live workshops. There's people who are doing kind of like you're at your own pace, these virtual camps where you kind of just get the materials and your kids are able to follow along with the video. So there's a lot of different things there. We're probably going to keep it after all of this passes just as a place, a hub for you as families to just, on your own time do it. That's why we created it. We felt like the world was so crazy and chaotic. We didn't want to say, okay, on Monday at 6 o'clock, we're having this, we're having that, we're having this. So this is just an opportunity for you to do it at your own pace. There's a lot of different things in there. There's the classroom code. If it does not work, you can email us and let us know, because some people it was working for, but we can, if you give us your email, we can add you in without a problem. And so this is really cool, the 4-H Learning Challenge. If you have not joined it, please do. We got some of our team leaders and some our team teachers and some volunteers to introduce and teach these very quick challenges that you can do as a family. So there are about 9 challenges. The first challenge is we had some kids that already started. They made some fresh baked bread from one of the cooking curriculums. And so we have a lot of different things that you can do from your own home. Kids can do that on their own, or you can do it as a family. And so our idea is that we started, on a small scale. We're going to do it for Grundy, Kankakee, and Will. And then it may actually, you might see it be Illinois 4-H things within the next few weeks. So if you complete the challenges as a family, as 4-H families, we're actually going to award you with a special prize if you complete those things by June. So join in as a family. It's at your own pace. If you click on this week and you finish it, then another week you finish that, or you want to do it all in one week, that's up to you. So those are just some different things that you can join. So join it, join. So we want to honor our graduates, especially because majority of schools are, well, probably all the schools are not having ceremonies for them. So if you have a graduate in your clubs, if you have a graduate in your home, we want to honor them. Please go to this website. We want to create some type of recognition for them and possibly give them some trinket of our love, because we know that how hard it is to end your senior year in March. That means a lot of people didn't have proms, a lot of people didn't have graduations, and I have no idea how that feels. And so we definitely want to be able to say we don't understand what you're going through, but we feel for you. And so we also want to recognize them. So please go to this website. They can upload, ask a few questions about what they're doing after school, whether it's military, they're getting a career, whatever it is, college. Also, they have the opportunity to upload a senior photo just to show off. And if they hadn't taken senior photos, get out in the yard, take it by a tree, get some good lighting, and upload some type of nice headshot for them. So that's something they can go to. And these are some different things to look out for. Like I said, at first, we wanted to make sure that we weren't springing something on people. So it's been a few weeks, of course, but we want to give the kids some different activities to do. So look forward to a quarantine. I really like stuff like this, quarantine, not like T-I-N-E, but T-E-E-N, meet and greet. So we want all of our Grundy, Kankakee, and Will kids to get together for a meet and greet. It'll probably be within the next couple of weeks. Look forward to that. As well as we didn't want to leave out our younger people, so we're going to do a quarantine kids zone. So both will be full of fun, different activities. I can't see them or feed them or anything like that, but we can have some fun. So this is definitely challenging us as a 4-H staff to come up with creative ideas. How do you even engage kids when you can't provide the materials for them? So it's making us think a lot, but these are some things that are going to be coming up. So we hope that you will spread the word and that our kids can attend. Any additional questions?
All right, so our first additional question is easy. Jamita, what is our Instagram handle?
That is easy. So it is Illinois. I'm from South Carolina, so they told me that you can't say the S. I used to say Illinois. So it's Illinois 4H GKW. Illinois 4H GKW.
All right, awesome. And then the next question is, there have been training classes for the show in previous years at the fairgrounds to know what to do when showing. Is there a way to do that digitally?
So I literally uploaded it yesterday to the Google Classroom. I forgot what state I went to, but they're doing workshops for like showmanship workshops. And there's one, I think today or yesterday, but they are also reposting it. So I can re-put those recordings in there, but there are a few more that are upcoming. So that is in the Google Classroom. It's in the animal sciences tab. And I can put the recordings in there once I log back in.
And we've also, as a team, talked about if we do go the virtual route, we're going to try and probably set up some trainings to give everybody a chance, kind of like tonight, to learn how to use the technology and the platforms we're going to use so that everybody is a little more familiar with it before the day of the show.
All right, and then another question, is the horse form on 4-H online or was it in an email? And then another question, is that on the unit website or should we look for that form elsewhere?
So for Grundy, I know specifically, and I apologize if Brooke's computer is shutting down on her, so she'll come back. But the horse form for Grundy was sent in a newsletter and should have been sent to participants as well. But if you still can't find it, reach out to any of the staff and we'll track it down and get it to you.
All right, awesome. Another question that came in through email is, what will State Fair look like this? What will State Fair look like this year? That is a big crowd of people in one building, and I'm just wondering what that will look like for this year.
Yes, it is a big crowd of people in one building. We are not sure on that either. I know when I listened to the governor speak a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago, they were still committed to try and hold the state fair. I think it's going to be like everything else. We are just not sure at this time, and it's going to be a wait and see type of situation. We hope by mid-August we're able to get together again and spend time together in larger groups, but we are just not sure at this point. By creating these virtual exhibit opportunities in our county fairs, if you're talking general projects, I'm sure maybe some of this would then transition into the state fair project. So hopefully, you know, that exhibit opportunity will continue. The livestock, that's a more difficult one, and I think will be up in the air. But again, they have other virtual platforms they can use for livestock judging, so maybe they'll do something similar with the state fair.
If people ask about the future of 4-H, who do we send those concerns to, and are there some sound bites that we can share for those who are concerned?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd be happy to talk to anyone who is concerned, or you can send them directly to Illinois 4-H at illinois.edu. That's the state office, and they can talk through any concerns they have. You know, I think the thing to think about is we're still a strong organization, and this is 1 year and one time. Things are difficult right now, but I don't think we're in any different boat than many other youth serving organizations. We're all going through these same struggles. We're all going through these issues. And I think we're doing some great things and showing how successful we can be in an online platform as well. The things that our staff are coming up with are great. We're also part of a statewide and a national network, and that has really been leveraged in a great way lately. We're sharing things from throughout the state. We're sharing things from out the nation. So I don't think anything about the future of 4-H is in question. We are still very much here. We are still the largest youth serving organization in the country, and we plan to continue to do that for many more years. I think this year, like I said, we're just, as a country, going through something that's really difficult. We are no more or less impacted by it than a lot of other youth groups. So I think if there's something more specific and people don't feel comfortable, you know, answering that, have them contact us and we'll talk through it with them as well.
All right, awesome. Next one. This is not COVID-19 related, but I've always been curious. Where does Illinois 4-H fall in the University of Illinois system?
Sure. So Illinois 4-H is part of the University of Illinois Extension, which is an outreach branch of the College of ACES. So the College of Agriculture, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences. So we are just another department in that college. So then in the grander scheme of the world, all the colleges, College of Engineering, ACES, LAS, Business, all come together to form the bigger university. So we are under the umbrella of the College of ACES.
All right. The University of Illinois system have canceled classes for summer or are transitioning them online. Does this mean that Illinois 4-H is canceling the summer?
No, that does not mean they are canceling the summer. We have canceled some summer events, but those are all overnight events at this time. And those are only through July 15th. And I apologize if that is incorrect, but it is in July. We have canceled 4-H camp for this year, and they have canceled Illini Summer Academies, Junior Leadership Conference, and anything else overnight. But we have not canceled any other events at this time. Like we said today, the governor did extend the stay-at-home order, so things could be impacted, you know, in the next week. But as of right now, we have not canceled summer, just overnight summer experiences.
All right, another one through email. Is Will County joining Grundy for public speaking on July 13th and also for cake decorating? So yes, Will County will be joining Grundy on July 13th for public speaking. Still haven't decided about cake decorating yet. That's something that Jamita and I will talk about, and we'll kind of try and gauge enrollments a little bit as we get closer. And I will send that out in an email probably in the next couple days as we start getting fair stuff planned. Let's see. Next question is, does Illinois 4-H and by extension Illinois Extension, that was a tongue twister, have any resources for families who are in financial need or who are worried about COVID-19 in general?
That is a great question, and that is something else I can put in the chat box. So the University of Illinois Extension has a whole website related to their COVID-19 resources. These go beyond just health issues or health questions. We do have things up there about appropriate hand washing and some things like that, but we also have some resources there related to small businesses, food production, and our family and consumer science team. Our family and consumer science team does have a personal finance group. One of those is our own Stacia Grobinstetter here in Grundy, Kankakee, and Will County. So if you have questions and you have concerns related to that, she could share some of those with you, and I'll pull up her email as I'm talking, and I'll put that in there as well. But yes, check out the website. I hope everyone can see it in the chat box. But that is the university's page, and we have a lot of resources there. Cooking in your pantry, what to do with your, is it safe to eat your groceries from the store? A lot of different things that are directly COVID related, and then some that are a little not as direct related.
With robotics, if your school has a bot, should we just keep it here until the school reopens or keep the bots until next school year?
Once we kind of figure out what days, because I know it's a little bit difficult because teachers are in the schools, and I'm sure they probably are locking it up maybe. So I will reach out to the teachers to kind of gauge what are those dates. We may have to do that, but we may be able to do some type of drop-off system during the summer as well. So just stay on the lookout for that.
Another question about 4-H in general. Are 4-H deadlines being impacted, and will there be some leniency on 4-H deadlines this year?
There is the possibility of that depending on how things are impacted. So if there are changes in those, we'll let everyone know as soon as we know or have made decisions related to them.
Okay, and then kind of going hand in hand with that, there are some families in my club who have not paid their enrollment fees, and they are now in financial need and can no longer afford the fee. Are there scholarships available to assist them?
There are scholarships available to assist them. If that is a situation that they are in, you can contact me directly. I will also put my email in the chat box, and we will work through that. So send me a note and we'll go from there.
Okay, and then this one is specifically pertaining to Grundy. Is it safe to assume that state awards that were supposed to be awarded in March, will those be handed out at the fall recognition night?
I think we're gonna have to figure out something for that. Hopefully it works out. I know there's a few that will have graduated 4-H, not just high school at that point. So we'll have to figure something out. They were supposed to get those to us at our regional meeting, which obviously was a Zoom meeting. So as soon as we know a good time, possibly if we're maybe able to have a fair, we could, that would be a good opportunity to give them out too at the awards at the fair. So it'll just depend on how the summer kind of falls on what we end up doing. So, but they will be recognized at some point.
All right, and then the last question I have, if you guys have any other questions, be sure to send them my way. But the last question that I have right now is, Jamita, how do we get on the Google Classroom?
So let me go back to the Google Classroom slide. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to learn how to control this presentation. So if you go to this website, it's classroom.google.com. And so you should have a Gmail, I believe that you should have a Gmail. I'm not sure if you can access this if you don't. I'm not sure about that, but you may be able to. But if you go to the Google Classroom, they're going to ask you this website right here, classroom.google.com. They're going to ask you to sign into your regular account, but then once you do that, you'll have to put in a code and you'll enter T6AZVX2, which is on the screen. And if you are not able to do that, some people have been having trouble with the code. I'm not sure, because Google Classroom has been having trouble generally, I guess with all of us going on. You can email me at JAMITAB, Jamita is literally jamita at illinois.edu. So if you have trouble getting in, just let us know. You can email all of us actually, because we're all teachers, and we'll just get you added. And anyone, honestly, anybody who is not in 4-H as well, if you have any neighbors, kids who are like, girl, we're driving ourselves crazy trying to find stuff to do, it's open to any of our kids of the world. So.
All right. Next question that I got through email is, there are many families that have bandwidth or Wi-Fi issues. What is being done to accommodate these families?
That is a great question. And I'm just going to kind of go back to two things. The first is that survey that's coming out from the university. I believe that's one of the things that the state is going to be doing some contacting people on to check bandwidth and internet. I will also say they are not alone. We are a big state, and there is a lot of people across the state, especially in southern central Illinois, that do not have internet access either, or very, very slow, or just only on their phones. So the state is very aware of that. And as we come up with solutions and we figure out what we're going to do next, that's something that we're taking into very, high thought. So don't worry, we are thinking of that. It's not something that we're going to leave those kids behind, but we are very aware of that and thinking of ways we can make sure they get to participate as well.
All right. The COVID-19 situation is bringing to light a lot of dark issues and other issues that families are having. Do you have any resources to share with families who are maybe having mental health issues, suicidal thoughts, or being abused at home?
Yes, so again, if you go to that COVID-19 resource site, there are some things. There's one I'm looking at it right now, communicating with kids in stressful times. They also have right now, the Family and Consumer Science team is doing some personal and family well-being. Going down that section, we have coping with disaster and trauma, helping teens deal with stress, helping communicating, helping children deal with stress, how to take care of yourself while taking care of others. So there's a number of resources there, helping children cope with emergencies. We have a lot of things there that you can reach out to and find. If it is something that is an emergency, or something that is in that domestic violence range, I would suggest people to probably look beyond us. We have some really great resources in all of our communities. And if that's something, you're not familiar with, you can reach out to me and I can help you find some of those resources in our community. But there are some things there relating to stress and how to work together and things like that. So I would definitely go check that out.
All right. Here's another question from email. I know that 4-H Online deadlines are coming up, as well as many other deadlines. For families that now find themselves without extracurricular activities to do or without a normal summer, are they able to sign up for 4-H after these deadlines?
So most families should be, typically our enrollment deadline and our project deadlines are kind of set, and we don't usually change those. But as I said, we're going to kind of talk through those as we move forward. You should still, if you're already enrolled in 4-H, you can still add projects. So if your family's interested in learning about a new project, all of those are still available. If there are families that want to just join 4-H and you have people that are interested in that at this point, I would say reach out to us directly and we can talk more about that. But project additions, you can still do without a problem in all 3 of the counties. So that shouldn't shouldn't be a problem at this point. And we'll talk about if we're going to extend those deadlines or not coming up.
All right, and I just have one more question left, and it is probably the most serious question of the night. For all 4-H staff, what is your favorite coronavirus comfort food?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Probably ice cream. I'm a big fan.
I think for me, so I had to go back keto, which is if you agree with it, fine. If you don't. But I went from eating and eating and eating. So I found zero carb bread. So I was eating grilled cheese sandwiches every single day, like because it's carb free for me. So that's been, I've went through 2 packs of bread in a week. So that's
Mine is not a food, so I won't mention it. I see there's young ones on here.
I'm boring. I'm trying to not have a comfort food. I still get to go into my other office in the morning so I can stay away from the fridge.
I like chocolate chip cookies. You can't go wrong with chocolate chip cookies.
Deborah's probably muted.
there she is.
There, now I am. I'm trying to not try to eat things that I find special. I call them like special food, but one of my I love eating fruit, but I love eating cereal, dry cereal, just eating dry cereal. So that I think is my like, oh, I want something, so I'll eat cereal. I know that doesn't sound real exciting to some, but that is one of my things that I love. But I'm also walking every day, which I walk inside on my treadmill and I walk outside. And getting outside is really helpful for me. So I am enjoying that. And with me in my home office, my treadmill is right behind me. So I can get up and walk, 400 steps in no time, and I'm back at my desk. So it really helps, and it helps you in the thinking process. So there are some pluses to working from home, but the big minus is that we don't get to see people, and I'm missing everyone. So it's good to see so many of you on tonight. So thank you for asking.
All right, I think that was the last question I have. There's a lot of like thank yous in the chat box. Thank you to the 4-H staff. Thank you to Megan. Thank you to Deborah from Kankakee. A lot of shout outs. You guys are the reason why we do it. So you guys do the hard part. We've been really impressed with how brave you all are and how you're able to like roll with the punches and everything like that. So you make us proud, and you're the reason why we do what we do.
I was just going to say the same thing. We had some fun things planned and kind of canceled, but I think Will County leaders, especially the ones I can speak for, literally just rolling with the punches despite everything that's going on. So we hope that in some way we can fill some voids. It won't be the same as face-to-face right now until we kind of get the clear, but we definitely want to plan some things for our kids. We want to honor them and just their hard work this year in school, as well as 4-H. And then it's National Volunteer Week. Megan said it at the beginning, but just thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. We literally could not do it without you as leaders, or if you're on the fair board, just all different types of volunteers that we have. So thank you. We truly miss you. I don't know. I feel like we come off weird on camera, so I'm just really kind of sad that I can't be crazy with some of the kids. So, but we thank you guys for meeting with us tonight. If you have any additional questions, please email any of us. We literally meet every single week, which is something we hadn't done before. We kind of met sporadically. So this has brought us together closely as a 4-H team. So we appreciate all of you for attending tonight. We'll probably have another follow-up something with weeks, whether it be for leaders, kids, or just something to talk to all of you. So thank you for joining us tonight. And if you have anything else, please message us. We are working every single day, even though we're not going to office. So thank you for attending.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.